you obviously love sports and X-Phys. Why did you decide to become a dietitian of all the fields?
Just a registered dietitian.
Yes.
Well, it's a little bit of a long-winded answer, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Growing up, my grandma, she was type 2 diabetic. So I kind of grew up around the reminding her to like drink her water, because eventually she was put on dialysis, and she fell into like the diabetic coma kind of thing, and she ended up passing away. But being around all that, like, telling her to watch her sugar intake, to not eat too much, to drink her water, handing her little vial of insulin from the refrigerator, watching her do the finger sticks and injecting the insulin, and just how nutrition plays such an important role. I think it was that the seed was just planted in here, but I never really thought much about that. I've actually thought about this more as I've been an adult, because I've wondered, like, where did I really care to do this? So having that in the back of my mind, growing up with that, and having this passion, and it's really an enjoyment for helping people, right? I genuinely enjoy helping people out. So to be able to offer them some kind of knowledge, or empower them in some way, or inspire them to do something, I mean, it feels good. So selfishly, it feels good, and it's nice that they actually do it. And then I think like the final straw that just fully pointed me into the direction of this. Oh, and I also love like athletics and performance and all of that. So growing up watching and playing sports. But then one day my brother said to me, he was like, "Why don't you become a dietitian?" And I was like, "What the heck is a dietitian?" I have no idea.
I had the same response.
So then I looked into it, and so he like really planted that seed. I took this like fitness class when I went to Miami-Dade College before going to FIU, and it was like a health and fitness wellness class. I don't know, and I thought the class was really cool, very interesting. The teacher just did a good job with teaching it to us and telling us certain things, and I basically took that class. It was, my brother had mentioned to me the dietetic thing, and then in that class, I asked the professor about becoming a dietitian, and then I met a dietitian, and then I kind of went down that route of, okay, so I initially wanted to do sports management, like to become an agent or something like that. And then I started learning about the different classes that I had to take, the chemistries and the biologies and the whatever. And yeah, I took the classes, and my mind was made. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to become a dietitian. And yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah. I did the same thing when I saw those prereqs, because I first went into nursing.
Okay,
and
that's a cool field also.
I did one semester of nursing, and I hated it. And I was like, this just isn't right. This isn't for me. So I became a teacher, and then I was like, this still doesn't feel right either. And in the process, I'm becoming a mom, and then I look back in my undergrad, and it was that one nutrition course I took that was my favorite course, and I was like, you know what, I think this is what I need to do. And since I've been in this program, I love everything about it. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
It's still hard, but
sure,
it's a good hard. It's like, it's an interesting, like you read a paper and it's like, crap, I gotta read that again because I have no idea what I just read.
I know.
And then I'll call Cassie and I'm like, did you understand that brown fat article? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not alone.
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone.
Yeah. But that's the important thing, to be able to also have like this community, right, where that you can speak with people and kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and
exactly.
and like really dissect the science and the studies and all that. So it's just a cool field to be in.
Yeah. What's like the biggest challenge of being a sports dietitian?
It depends. It depends on partially the work setting, like the workplace, because sometimes if you're working like with a team, so like I was with the FIU football team for about a year and a half as like their part-time sport nutritionist, right? My dog is just here saying hi. Hi, say hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh, so cute.
That's my baby. So it depends on what if it's a team, because if it's a team, you may have difficulty with the coaches,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Because some coaches, because it's nutrition, right? You're gonna find that. Now get down. Sorry, he's like
You're
on
good.
alert. I kid you not. Like, look, they're looking out the window.
Protecting
There's
you.
there's some guys like working on some things at the house, and he's like on high alert. So if you, 'cause one thing with nutrition, everybody eats, right? So everyone has like their own beliefs, and they hold on to certain ideas about food. And everyone has their own experiences with food. So you'll take some of these coaches, and they're like, "Oh, you need to gain weight. All right, so just like throw all the ice cream and throw all of this and that." And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like they're wrong, right? It's gonna get these athletes into some kind of a caloric surplus. But the difficulty there is, dude, look, you're offensive line coach offensive line.
Yeah.
Let me do the nutrition, right? Or at least let's sit down and discuss so we could all be on the same page, and that way we're all like spitting the same information.
Yeah.
Another difficulty with being a sports RD, or even just an RD in general, is media.
Yeah.
Whether it's TV, magazines, websites, social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, I mean, whatever. So it's like all of that is also a problem, because there's so much access to information, and sometimes that information is wrong.
Yes.
So that's a problem, right? So it's a mix. Sometimes it's like people's experiences, like the coaches, and also so much access to information that people have that makes it really challenging.
Yeah, that was actually because I was gonna say you have a huge following. I mean, for me, huge. You have like almost 6,000 followers. To me, that's huge. You're addressing a lot of people, and I feel like with social media, like you said, people get exposed to things. And like I know my mom, she has medical conditions and she's overweight, and that's putting it politely. She doesn't always listen to me, and she listens to social media instead. And it's like so as a dietitian who has a presence on social media, like how do you handle that? Like how do you, I mean, I've seen your posts, I've seen you comment on things before, and it's great, but like do you find that hurts your business or helps your business as a dietitian?
I think that it helps. In part, it can hurt because I'm not telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah.
But I think it helps because I'm telling people what they need to hear, right? So as far as business goes, I remember a good friend of mine told me one time. I shouldn't say a good friend, but he's a friend. And I don't say good friend because it's not like we talk all the time, but definitely someone that's special to me in my life. He told me, he said, when it comes to business, people want to know how much you care before they care how much you know.
Okay.
And I found that to be quite interesting, because it's true. People do want to know, well, how much does Katie care about, like, my success in all of this, right? But a lot of times it does come down to what you know. Like, for example, on social media, if you're constantly posting things like me saying, hey, I care about you, like, it's important, and I want you to know that, people are going to be like, okay, cool, like, this guy seems nice. But if I put something like 5 grams of creatine daily, it's not really going to have a negative side effect. Oh, wow, he actually knows something about creatine or whatever. So it gets kind of tricky, because in business, it's important for people to see that you care. From an educational standpoint, and I think that I've been able to kind of like, I shouldn't say master the two, but kind of like marry the two together, where on social media, where people can see that I care and I know, right? So it's like saying things like, this is what the science says, and I also care that you're not taking this like detox tea kind of thing, you know what I mean? So I think that it helps me, because ultimately we have to be honest, right? It's not like just making something up to try to sell and and make money. And I've been there before, right? Like there are some things that when I'll go and talk to like FIU orientation to dietetics classes, and I'm like, I've been the person who worked and basically did something that I didn't fully believe in, but I still did it because I was getting paid. Now, it's not like I put people's lives in danger, but it was just things that it was like, in retrospect, or now, I wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that I went through that to be able to learn and to be able to share that story with someone like you and other future practitioners who are going to, be game changers in this. To know that, like, sometimes you can fall into that, and hopefully me sharing my story, you don't have to go into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But definitely, it's there are certain challenges with being a dietitian. I just think it's important that we're always honest, because people will see that.
Right. We've had a lot of discussion in our program. So I'm one of the oldest ones in the program. They're all like early 20s.
Okay.
And
how old are you, if you don't mind me?
I'm 35.
Okay. Cool.
So
still young.
I'm not good with social media. I was very late to joining Instagram. I still barely ever use it. Everyone's like, you gotta post, you gotta make content. And it's so funny that this my study originally didn't start as an Instagram thing. It started as a curriculum. I was going to use Canvas as a curriculum platform and educate our firefighters. Since I'm a teacher, that's my strength. Yeah. And Doug was like, no, you need it easy, accessible, what they already have, what's popular, trending. You need to use a social media platform. And I was like, okay. So using social media is like a whole new tool for me, but all these younger girls in my program are all up on it, and they keep giving advice as, should I have a personal page versus a professional page? Should it be one and the same?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Do I separate church and state, or do I be personable with my, because a lot of my friends are like, you have kids, you're the perfect mom as a dietitian to give advice. It's like, but my niche is sports. So yeah. I bounce between the two, and I don't know how to handle that.
It's tricky, right? Because I try not to post things that are too personal. Like, for example, the breakup I went through a couple of months ago. No one on social media knows that. At least not unless I was having a conversation via direct message with someone, and it came up, if they asked anything, or if I felt inclined to let them know because of what they were asking me. But my page, it's my personal page and my public page, but I use it to educate. Sometimes I'll let people know what I'm doing, but not very often. But just today, I posted a picture. I went on a friend's boat the other day on Tuesday, and I took this selfie, and I said, hey, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna post this picture just because. Let me just put my face on my page.
Yeah.
But a bunch of my stuff is just gonna be educational content. And yeah, if it's one of those things where we have to kind of ask ourselves, what do I want to get out of this? What's important to me out of this? Do I want to gain a following? And if I want to gain a following, what do I have to do to gain this following? So it's providing consistent content is really the way that it is, but it takes work.
It's so much work.
It is. It really is. And the nice thing is, as you go doing it more, with pretty much anything else, you go getting better. And learning different programs that you could use to create your content. And then, hold on. My little screensaver thing popped on. There we go. So it's just creating content on a consistent basis. But if you know what it is that you want to create content for, and if it's not, mommy and me related stuff, and if you want it to be sports related stuff, then do it. There's even stuff that you learn in your classes right now. The stuff that you're learning, you can find a way to turn that into content. People don't really know the stuff that you talk about, because not everyone is going to school to be a registered dietitian nutritionist. Like, so you
Right.
have this upper hand where you can create content because you're getting the information, and then as more and more people start following